Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first of our Red Rising read along live show discussion. I am alone at the moment. Hopefully, Daphne will be joining us shortly. She's working. It's midday. It's 2 p.m. for me. Like it's work day. But today we're obviously going to be talking about Red Rising and all of the fun things about this. I'll just kind of stall for as long as I can. Sorry. I won't waste any time. Daphne doesn't have a lot of time today either, so this will be like hopefully an hour tops. But basically, we are going to be discussing the first book of Red Rising. I think my goal is to kind of have enough like plot recap of what happened and discuss the events of this book for those who have read it but didn't want to reread and want to continue on in the read along to have some kind of base to say like here's what happened. But I also want to talk about the characters and everything that we enjoy. I will try to keep the first little bit of this spoiler free for anyone who hasn't read this and is interested, and then kind of, divulge all the good stuff as we go on. I guess I can pitch what this is about for anyone who hasn't heard of Red Rising. This came out a long time ago. It's nothing new or crazy, but it's really good. I have read this once before. This is my first reread, and this is following a young boy, Darrow. He's like 16 or 17 at the start of the book, and it's just a very young Red living inside of Mars, working in the mines like constantly, and his whole thing is just working. They're always trying to win the gamba for or the lottery, the thing. They're trying to win basically a competition with their family to win like prizes and get more food because obviously uh basically they're all just in poverty and it's a little bit corrupt, and you start and see some of the cracks that are happening as we are spending time with Darrow and his wife Io and just seeing his whole family. And you know the book moves fast, and quickly we find ourselves in a sad scary little place where Darrow is taken and learns about society and that Mars is actually been inhabitable the whole time, and that there are a plethora of different people living not only on Mars but basically everywhere in space and Earth and the moon, and becomes a gold. Goes through a very disturbing carving transformation and becomes a gold to infiltrate the inside, the top of the tier. I do hope that we can go over the like hierarchy caste system a little bit because I can never remember it to save my life, but hopefully we can discuss that as well and just dive in. But he becomes a gold, he infiltrates the inside, and this first book really is just touching on like a little bit of a glimpse of what society is like. He is, I don't want to call it like academia because it's not quite that, but he is in a school as a gold and is trying to like prove that he's one of the best. And I'm gonna just say it gets a little bit pitched like Hunger Games at times, and I see it, and agree. I actually went through and annotated my copy a little bit this time. Not a lot. I'm not great at annotating, but I definitely highlighted some of my favorite moments. I cried twice, so I'm very excited to discuss this with you guys. Hello, Eliza. Eliza was also supposed to be on this live show with us today, but life is getting in the way a little bit, and that's okay. It happens. But yeah, finished this morning. Yeah, I finished this literally at 12:45, which was barely like an hour ago. So I'm glad that I finished it in time. It would have been very embarrassing for me, the host, to not finish my reread in time. Hello, how are you? I'm doing well. And yourself? I excited. I'm nervous. Honestly, I'll be honest. I have not done a live in so long that I'm like, I don't know what to do. Seriously, when you said Hunger Games, all I could think about, yeah, it really does give Hunger Games like the second half or so. But yeah, I guess I will start off with my rating of this. When I first read this, I read just the audiobook by itself like 3 years ago, 2 years ago, probably closer to three. And that is true. We're doing so good. I'm proud of us. I gave this when I first listened to the audiobook 4 stars. I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. This time around, I physically read along with the graphic audio. The graphic audio was definitely an experience, and I don't think it's necessarily like the first time you read the book, the right way to go because it does skip some parts, although some parts I understand why they skipped it. We'll get to that hopefully if I don't forget, but I enjoyed the graphic audio. It definitely enhanced a lot of what happens and the characters, which I enjoyed, but definitely was a bit overwhelming at times because there was just, like, a lot happening. There's always music in the graphic audios, but I do like the full cast. The sound effects, some of the scenes, you're like, "I don't want a sound effect for this. This is a little bit much." But, yeah, first read, 4 stars. Reread, I think, is 4.5, 5 almost. I don't know if it's, like, a true 5, but it's, like, pretty close to a 5. I just love these characters so much, being back in this world, being back with these characters, incredible. It felt so great. I really enjoyed it. Good. I'm glad you're doing well. Hello, Sarah. Welcome in. Oh my god, I did the graphic audio this time, and oof, I don't think I liked it. No? Interesting. You liked the Fourth Wing one, but not the Red Rising one. Okay. Yeah, I did not want some of the sound effects. Yeah, this book is classified YA, and I do think that it fits the YA genre well. I think they get a little bit more adult as the series goes on, but I do appreciate that for being YA and there being some, like, gruesome parts, some, like, "Oh my gosh, that just happened" scenes, it doesn't dwell on them or go in too much detail, so I think even people who don't like horror and so on and so forth can still enjoy this. It's just, at times a little much, but I don't know how to structure these. I by myself, so, I don't have, like, people to banter with on conversation right now. So I think we're gonna just talk about like the beginning, first couple of chapters, and kind of like ease into what happened in this book because it's I literally cry 5 chapters in every single time. Like there's something about this book that just makes me cry, makes me so attached to everybody. And the song that plays, if you listen to the audiobook, they sing it to you. And I cry every time. I can't help it. I cry every single time. It's crazy. I would not say it's would not say it's YA, it was rough. Yeah, I can understand that. I still think because they're teens, it's got a YA feel and it doesn't, like, linger too much on the, like, difficult parts, like, it kind of is like, "Okay, a bad thing happened, and then 1 page later, we're gonna move on from that." But I do appreciate that the characters deal with the consequences and kind of have, like, a PTSD response almost to, like, the traumas that happen, like, it sticks with them throughout the book, and it's not just, like, something horrible happened, and we move on from it, but also some of the really horrible things, like, that happen just in chapter 5 are so painful and sad, and I hate it. Love them singing the song, though, yeah. It really does immerse you. So in this, we are starting just quickly with Darrow. Darrow is such an interesting character. I really like him. As you can see, I have the little bookmark pictures. These are from Fairy Loot, and I just think that they're so stunning. So I had to include them so we could see some of the characters. But Darrow is one of my favorite characters. He's just my dogs are going crazy right now. But oh goodness, my boyfriend is home, so it might get loud. I'm sorry for that if it does. But Darrow is such an interesting character. He really is I don't even know, like, so resilient. Like, he goes through so much, goes through truly the most when his wife dies, and the whole process around being in the mines and learning that your entire reality is false is so hard to grapple with, and then for him to continue on, especially after the death of his wife, which hurts so bad, and the song truly makes me cry every single time. So, it was really nice being with Darrow and seeing, like, his starting point of still being brave and strong and all the generic needed male tropes and characteristics for characters, but I just liked seeing how much stronger he got, and I liked the conversations that we got with having good versus evil and morality and, like, are people inherently bad or good? Yeah, if only by age, though, everything else, I'm like, "Hmm," yeah, it does get a little bit gruesome at times, but I really like Darrow as a character. I liked seeing his story arc through this. I'm already so scared to get into Golden Sun because 'cause I've read that one too, and the ending for that one just every time freaks me out. don't think about it too much, but I can't not help it. I love these characters. Um, Other characters that, like, are super stand out for me. Mateo, truly such a light. I love the transformation scenes. This book feels pretty quick in pace. I feel like the part when they're in the institute feels the longest for sure, but the transformation as, like, Darrow is going from red to gold, and we meet Dancer and Mateo and Harmony, and the names are always a little bit silly, but I like that everybody has a nickname. I love everybody involved in the transformation. Obviously, like, Mateo is a little bit, or no, Mickey is a little bit questionable, but I think that they're all so fun. I love seeing the different Are you okay, my cat? I love seeing the different systems of the colors and hierarchy and how everybody has, like, their roles to play in society, and yet they're all still, like, different in different ways. That obviously, that's society, that's people, but I'm the obviously Sam, but I really enjoy Darrow and seeing the different relationships that he builds with people along the way. I love during his scenes with Mickey. Mickey's the carver who's doing a lot of the adjustments to Darrow, and he has this girl, which there's so many names. Of course, I'm not gonna remember her name now for the live show, but there's this Pink that is there, and Darrow's like, "You're gonna let her free, you're gonna give her a good life." And I just thought, like, just those small little glimpses of Darrow always fighting for the underdogs, the always fighting for the lower class, because you've got the reds at the bottom and then, like, the browns and the pinks, and then it kind of goes up into the pyramid from there. But I just love seeing him always fighting for the little guys and the, like, yeah, it's good. I like Darrow. Other characters that I really enjoy as we get on to the institute, as the craziness really happens. I love Cassius. Cassius is so much fun to me, but obviously, like, if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. My name is Sam. I didn't really introduce myself at all. I really, really like the character Severo. He is Severo, and if you know, I have a husky, and his name is Severo Albarco, and we love him dearly. He is our little howler, so I love the howlers in this. I love Severo as a character. He's one of my absolute favorites. He's just pure, and I love everything about him. I love how just wild he is. It's great. I love Mustang. Cassius again is great. I just love seeing the golds and having such, like, vast differences between them. Like, Darrow is very quickly thrown into the worlds of gold and is under the impression that they're all going to be the same, that they're all power hungry manipulators, and they are just driving society in horrible ways. And obviously, he is most harmed by what the golds do to society, but still seeing the humanity in each and every little character, I just really enjoyed. I love seeing that, like, yeah, the system is bad, but the characters themselves don't even really understand what's going on. I loved so many moments with Mustang. Like, once Darrow and Mustang team up, that's when the book gets, like, so good to me, like 1,000% solid story. I really enjoy that Mustang is unlike everybody else. She's not power hungry. She actually cares about people. She has empathy, but she still wants to, like, participate, and she still has honor to live up to. And I just really enjoyed her moments though, like the conversations around power, and obviously with the times that we're living in at this current moment, things are a little bit scary. And so this book definitely had some moments where I was like, "Ooh, ain't that close to home?" But yeah, the characters for this are really stand out for me. A lot of this is very character focused because so much of this book is about loyalties and how the bonds are made through the institute, and how different teams. I'll explain what the institute is because that might help the discussion a little bit too. But I like Cassius too. Yeah, he's great. So the institute is where the higher golds go to, and they kind of have a Hunger Games esque style. We get a map pretty early on in the book that is kind of what the layout for this institute competition is, and I really enjoy having the map. Definitely gives me a little bit more insight of what was happening. But everybody takes tests. All these golds have to go through a big test process and like being probed and all not fun stuff, and are eventually, if they pass, they go to the institute, and it starts off so bad so quick. Basically, once they pass and they get in, they are thrown into a little room, and our poor Darrow has to fight another gold who made it in. And we quickly are I'm getting into spoilers, by the way. Full spoilers right now. But we quickly learn that Darrow has to fight to the death with another gold who has made it equally as far. And we eventually learn that it's Julian. And it's not it's definitely, like, it hits you, and I forgot how soon this fight happened in the book. I thought for whatever reason it happened, like, later on in the more Hunger Games competition, but it didn't, and it hurt every time. I'm like, "Oh no, Julian, Cassian's brother, gets destroyed." And Darrow has to come to terms with the fact that, 1, he's killed his first person, like, this is the first life that he's taken into his own hands, and then also has to grasp with Cassius has been friendly with him, and they've kind of got a sort of bond, and so it's really hard to, you know, grow a relationship with a very hard truth being kept from one another, and then also learning that the golds are pitted against each other, the weaker versus the stronger, and it's basically like natural selection and within the gold ranks just to see like who can really be the best. It kind of gives that fourth wing syndrome of like killing people for no reason. Like I can understand why the society does it, but to me it's just like why are we wasting people? Like it's just ridiculous. But ugh, it feels like X-Men Hunger Games vibe. It really does. That is really the vibes of the Institute. But after this happens, all of the golds who survive their duel basically are lined up, and different members of the different houses choose their team basically. And of course, as we can see this side, we Darrow gets assigned to House of Mars and is on a team with Severo and Cassius and a whole bunch of characters. There are so many characters in the book that it is almost near impossible to keep track of them all. But I did really enjoy the Hunger Games styled competition where basically it's to prove that you are a good gold. You can be a great leader and you can, you know, do the things that society needs you to do and you can fit into the mold. But Darrow, of course, is going to be against the grain because he's a red. He's not really a gold. And so when he's thrown into this competition, he tries to get power, but it's not like an instant fight. But you definitely see him grappling with the challenges of having to play this part, but it's also, like, in him, like, the rage that he has that just carries him forward and brings him to, like, do awful things in the name of power. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. This book is so crazy. I've never, like, just talked about this book out loud before, and I'm doing it now, and it feels wild. Yeah, I was thinking the same way, Fourth Wing too. Yeah, it really does give, like, we're killing off people just for the fun of it, and they could really benefit with having, like, more gold in society, but no. Yeah, they started off a bang. This one at the Institute. I truly, like, forgot that Julian died so early on at the hands of Darrow, and I was like, "Oh, no." And it just sets you up for pain the whole time. Yeah, poor Julian. I love Julian so much. But we get Darrow is put into House of Mars, and very quickly it is not meant to be life or death, at least not my understanding of it. It didn't seem like they were supposed to be fighting to the death constantly, but very quickly, as everybody tries to get power, you see the worst in people come out. You see that there is no authority. It is just them. There are proctors watching, but they don't really intervene very often, especially at the beginning, because they're not supposed to. That obviously changes, but having the having a bunch of teenagers just like decide that it kind of gives the what's that classic? Wow, I should know what this is. Lord of the Flies. Like everybody thinks that when you put kids in an arena by themselves, like they'll just start doing bad things when in reality, I don't think people are quite like that. Maybe bad people, but it definitely plays on the good and the bad because you've got characters like not Titus, yes, Titus. There's 2 that have very similar names to each other. I can never remember them apart, but you've got some characters that are instantly going for power, instantly making names for themselves, doing the worst, and then you've got other characters who are just trying to survive. Mustang becomes the leader of her own house, and there's just different yes, thank you. Titus and Cactus. That's it. Titus instantly is just like, I want all of the power and I'm gonna prove how much like bad is in me. And then we get oh god, I'm so bad at doing this by myself because I have no script. And normally if I'm gonna do plot recaps, I'll just script out a video and it's hair in my mouth. And I didn't do that for this because I thought Daphne would be here. And so I'm sorry for me just rambling all sorts of confused, but Titus is the one who is instantly like, I'm gonna claim power for House of Mars, and there's just like from the beginning in house fighting, if you will, and everyone is trying to rise to power. You've got Darrow and Cassius, you've got Antonia, and then you've got Titus, and all of them are gathering like their own little parties and keeping things from each other. House of Mars isn't like the best to get sorted into right away because they don't have a lot of resources like some of the other houses do. And so you really see the instant bad side of these characters, but later on, as Darrow is playing the game and they're slowly getting more status and more power and more people are following along with them. We get to see other characters like Mustang rise to her power, but do it in a like more graceful, kind way. Like they're not instantly trying to harm one another. They're not instantly going after the slaves. Basically, it's kind of like a capture the flag situation, but the flag is a bunch of people and you make them your slaves. It's a little messy. There's a lot of like gray area in this book around like the talks of slaves and how like the red system is like the forced labor class, if you will, but also does kind of give slave vibes. But I do think the characters have pretty Irish slash Scottish accents. So I don't know, like it feels like they're all pretty white to be dealing with slavery, and there's not like a lot of characters of color that stood out to me. So there's a discussion around that. I don't know if I'm equipped to have that conversation, but that is something that goes on in this book quite a lot. But I enjoyed seeing how different houses try to strategize the competition and games, but it becomes gruesome very fast. You've got Titus who instantly is taking advantage of the slaves in a not good, not safe for YouTube type of ways, and it is so hard to like sit through, and basically becomes the enemy inside House of Mars, and Cassius decides that I'm going to claim Titus as my enemy. And so eventually justice is given, but it's always done in the most gruesome way possible. Like Cassius taking Titus's life because Cassius believed Titus killed his brother Julian. The betrayal hurts for real. It's so hard. Hi, love you. You have to leave though because you haven't read this book, and I can't spoil too much for you because I want you to read it. But anyways, I was saying something for sure. What was I talking about? Oh yes, Cassius takes Titus's life, and then they get more power because of those type of situations. Bye. And so I liked seeing the back and forth, the grayscale of like good and bad. Like obviously all of these characters are objectively like not great people, but there are still some good moments, but the amount of harm that they inflict on one another, it's a really strange I'll never understand like the society's purpose, and maybe it will come in later books, but like I don't know why an institution's like, yeah, fight to near death or honestly just death. Like why not? There's a lot of technological advances in this book. It is sci-fi for sure, sci-fi dystopian all the way, but I definitely enjoyed seeing like the medbots will come down and take some people away, but not always. And the proctors eventually start showing their hand a little bit more as Darrow gets more footing, becomes more of the leader, and Cassius kind of sidesteps out of the way a little bit, and more crazy events begin to happen. And you've got the proctors who are basically a bunch of golds who have once done this before, now like watching the kids as their own entertainment. They're living in high status life, like everything is set up for them, they're wealthy. But quickly the plot unravels and there is a bigger enemy, the Jackal. And the Jackal is like Darrow, whose nickname is the Reaper. The Jackal is kind of like Darrow, but more gruesome, more less morally correct. And Darrow's like, great, that's my enemy. I'm going to go for the Jackal. But the Jackal happens to be a very important person to the book because the Jackal is the son of Augustus, who is like the governor, who is having like a family feud with Cassius's line. So there's a lot of politics happening that are very like behind the scenes for this first book, and I think will get explored as we continue on and more things happen, especially with how this book ends. I really enjoyed getting like the little tidbits of the politics though, and like getting a little glimpse into the bigger world around this, because that's where we're headed to Golden Sun, baby. It's gonna get bigger. It's gonna get crazier. But the Jackal is Darrow's target because the Jackal is primed to win. He's got all of the status, he's got all of the backing, and the proctors want him to win as well. The game has been rigged. Oh no, it's rigged. And so having a rigged game definitely changes the story a lot because it goes from being a competition, a friendly game with some bloodshed that lasts for an entire year through the seasons, where some people get frostbite, some people die, just horrible conditions. And the proctors have already decided the fate of this game. And of course, Ardero, the red, the just, the one who has deemed himself the executor of whatever is going to happen. He thinks that he's going to infiltrate these golds and take them down, and reds will rise to power. So of course he's not going to let that slide. Of course the proctors have more coming to them, since that's obviously like not cool. It's not cool to rig the game. And so having Darrow target the most influential person in the arena, the proctors start stepping in and do assassination attempts, and they steal the horses and just like make everything harder for Darrow and his new companions as he's teamed up with, oh my goodness. Hello. Oh no, I probably should grab.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I'm so late.
You're okay. I've just been like floundering for 27 minutes being like, I don't have a script and I didn't know how to talk about things, so I'm just talking about things.
I was in a work call and like
I
I'm
know.
new in this like realm of consulting thing, and they're talking about like electrical diagrams, and it's all new, and he was going really deep, and it was good for me to hear, but I was like, oh my god, I'm so late.
It's all good. It's all good.
Welcome, how are you? Sorry.
It's all good. Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
Hi, I'm Daphne from Being Daphne. That's my channel name. I'm reading Red Rising with Sam because she generously asked me to. It's definitely out of my normal range. I'm mostly a romance reader. So,
but you also made me read Jade City, so it's
true.
not that out of your range.
True, you're right. I don't know what it is. It's like sometimes I'm like, yeah, I just want to be with fantasy and like no romance. Yeah. People will die, whatever.
You gotta switch it up sometimes. I get it.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Okay, I'm so excited to talk with you about it. This is the second.
Come back when I'm finished with this. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So, how did you read this? What did you rate it?
Okay, so I listened to it via audio, and I think I rated it a solid. Did I rate it a 3 on Goodreads? A solid 3. Maybe I'd give it a 3.5.
Interesting.
Only because sometimes I was like, I'm like, where are we going? I'm like, I have no idea what's happening. And I know it's a long series too, and it's only the first book. So the pace in the beginning, I was like, this is taking a while. Like, when are we gonna get into the political maneuvering? Like, what's the plan?
I'm
But
just waiting until the next book.
yeah,
That's
so
when the politics will really happen.
that's why I was kind of confused. I was like, and then I didn't know it was going to be like a Hunger Games thing. I went in fairly blind, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't really like prep you. I was just like, we're doing this thing. Eliza and I've already read it, so join.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it has a lot of potential. The ending stuff, I was like, wow, like I was like jaw dropped, like, what are you doing, guy? This is crazy. I'm like, what's the long game? You know what I mean? He was killing a lot of people. I'm like, how are you gonna get away with this?
Yeah, truly. It's just like it goes everywhere. Yeah, what did you think of the characters? Were any of them stand out for you? Did you have favorites?
So
Horse
it
girl.
was also really yeah, horse squirrel. It was really interesting coming from like a romance background too, because
The characters, were any of them stand out for you? Did you have favorites?
oh, hi Eliza.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
hello.
I have more friends.
Sorry, I was trying to get my laptop together because she's feeling a little bit better.
Yay! Whole spot.
I know. I was like,
Blaming her.
Don't point it
Like
out.
the 4 people watching this.
I didn't have time to grab a beanie. Thanks.
No, I'm just teasing.
Turn around this way.
She's so cute.
All right, go on. I was listening through my phone.
No, I was just saying, I think for the characters, it was interesting coming from like a romance perspective because he had a wife. And I'm like, oh, that's
I remember.
What?
Wait, I thought you read already, didn't you?
No, I knew she was gonna die. I read up to that part the first time last year, but still, I'm like, okay, I'm like looking around for romantic interest, but I'm like, yeah, but he's grieving. I'm like, that's kind of awkward. Like, when
it's really sad,
you know.
Honestly, talk about a gentleman not sleeping with Mustang.
I know, and like I knew Mustang was kind of the one when he first saw her, and he like was like, look at her riding the horse like before the competition.
She insults him, and then he sees her naked, and then
yeah,
like, I hate this woman, but when I have to lie with her, I actually kind of like her. Right, the journey.
I couldn't. I really liked her. No, actually, my favorite character is Severos. Is that how you say his name? Is that your dog's name?
Yeah. I like it. You made the connection.
I'm like, what's the dog's name? I love the character.
Yeah, Severo Al Barco. That's Severo, my dog.
Oh my god!
He's a howler.
Oh my god! That's
so funny.
Wow, I can appreciate your dog so much more now. That's amazing. He was a great character.
He was so good. I love him so much.
I loved him. Yeah, he was like a lone wolf, literally.
Yeah.
But so loyal, so clever. Like, people underestimated him. I love a good underdog too. So like,
oh man, the twists in this book, guys. This is my reread, and I still like everything that was revealed. I was like, whoa.
You texted in the group chat. You were like, "Oh, Titus." What was the thing that made you say that? Like, what about Titus?
That he was red.
Huh?
Was he the red? No, I thought that was the red.
Titus was the red. Titus was the suspected red.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Cactus was the other bad guy who killed the Diva Dana house.
Wait.
I think Cactus is the
Cactus. Oh yeah, see, I'm getting the names mixed up because
they're the same character at this point. I can't tell them apart.
The crazy guy. Did I make exclamations about Titus?
I couldn't remember which one.
Yeah,
I don't remember, but the red, yes, I totally forgot that he was red, and it's just so crazy that he just thinks about these things. He's like, oh, why is he saying this? Why is he talking about it this way? Oh my god, he's not a gold. I was like, what the hell? You're such a good detective.
I know, that made me really sad too, because he was like, he had to kill him because he was crazy and a rapist.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rape.
There's a lot of rape. Yeah, I couldn't take that. And then
yeah, before you got on, I was saying like how this book really explores the like good and evil in people, and like if people are inherently bad or inherently good, and just like the morality of people, and gives like the Lord of the Flies syndrome of like, oh well, they're all bad. If you throw kids into an arena, they're all going to kill each other and do bad things.
Yeah. No, I think it was also interesting because he hated the gold so much because they were oppressing everybody else. But like these kids were also just born into privilege and they're dealing with their own things. And, you know, it's kind of like when you have it good, like, and somebody else wants to take it from you. I mean, we can understand this in America, right? Like when you're in a place of privilege, you don't want to give it up or share it because then you feel like you have less, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I also didn't think most of them were innately evil. I just think they were put in a place where
Yeah.
they were told they had to protect what they had.
Yeah, and obviously the bad apples are going to shine because there's no authority telling them
Yeah.
they can't.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was the one thing that I had to roll my eyes at over and over again with some of these characters because they were like, "Do you know who my father is?" I'm like,
No. You're like, no, I literally don't.
"You're like, I couldn't care less about your father."
Especially like people are dying around you.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone was dying. Jesus.
Yeah, it's definitely like an interesting look on like why the Institute is like, let's put a bunch of high status kids in an arena together and hope they don't kill each other, but also we're going to allow complete brutality to be acceptable and okay for the name of entertainment. But they think that it would never happen to them because they're the golds. And so
Yeah.
it's interesting to be like, and now we're going to sacrifice all of you just because we can.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting because in the beginning, before they sent them into the arena, that they were like, "Yeah, your lives are too easy.
Yeah.
Like you need some experience here. Be attacked." You know,
Go,
like
go fight.
yeah, that was really crazy. Good point, but like, and I think it was interesting too because like they kept saying things about the Reds were like the Reds could do this and like they're hardened and da da da. And I was like, okay, they actually like respect them to a degree, but they know that they need to keep them suppressed. I don't know. It was interesting.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Free labor.
Deciding that they're just less than just because they're told so.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of biases.
I was surprised by Horse Girl too, Mustang. Because I was like, I don't trust this bitch. I'm like, I don't trust you. But then she kept kind of like proving herself and being loyal. And I was like, okay. And the way that it was written, I was like, maybe like when she had opportunities to betray him and she wouldn't, I was like, okay, maybe you're good. And then when you find out she's the sister, I was literally like, oh, what the fuck? I was like,
yeah, no, I really
read that this
enjoyed the
morning.
arc.
I was also surprised by that. I totally forgot that they were siblings.
yeah.
I didn't forget, but like I wasn't thinking about it until we got like closer to Darrow wanting to go to Olympus, and I was like, oh no, he's about to find out. Oh no, he's about to have some pain. But yeah, I did really enjoy like once Mustang and Darrow got together and started teaming up, and it was just the two of them. Like she's frostbitten and she's got a fever and super ill, and he's taking care of her and like making deals to make sure she's okay. I'm like, and now the book is getting good. Like once Mustang is kind of the like, hey everybody, what we're doing is weird and bad, and none of you are questioning anything. And she kind of reminds Darrow like why he's there and what he should be doing instead and how he should be acting like a red, even though he's a gold. And once he like shifts gears and he's like, okay, no, we're gonna free people. We're going to help people. We're gonna make people want to ally with us, not control people and be manipulative. I was like, yes, this is when the book gets good.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're opening my mind to so many things I didn't even realize.
And the song she was humming the whole time was Eo's song.
Yeah. And she was the one that was like, how she would always talk about power and how like everybody's just kind of trying to manipulate and do horrible stuff for no reason. Like it's a game and it doesn't need to be that big of a deal. But when she becomes the leader of her house at the beginning, like there no infighting. Everyone's like, yep, Mustang's in charge and we're good. And like life is great. But compared to House of Mars, where everybody's like instantly fighting for power and instantly doing awful things to each other, it's very nice, like just juxtaposition.
I like also what you said, where it's like freeing the other slaves, right? Because he was acting too gold. It's like you're doing what the Institute has been doing. Like, how are you going to have a revolution? What am I saying? a revolution. Was like words. Because he's like, oh, I forgot this is actually supposed to teach me something. And then he was doing it the way like he should do it in the real world once Ares is ready to like, I don't know, take major
Rise up, yeah.
and like actually free people versus like enslaving people for power. Like
Yeah, because he's always like, well, once we're out of here and I'm the top dog, I'm gonna kill all these golds and I'm just gonna put the reds in their place. And I'm like, buddy, you're not seeing the picture. You're not seeing the problem. You're still making like a class system rather than like equality.
And then like he's becoming friends with the golds, and it's like, okay, you can't just kill all of them. They're not all bad. Very interesting. This is a great book to discuss, honestly. Very interesting.
Yeah, no. I was looking at like the internet's book club questions, and I'm like, whoa, these are too deep. This is too deep for what I'm looking for. We were going like hard on the stuff, and I was like, I'll talk about the loyalty because I love Severo and I love the Howlers, but I'm not trying to like talk too deep about this.
Yeah. Oh my God. When Severo, because actually when I came on here originally, I wanted to be like, bloody damn, gory damn. But when Darrow's killed the first guy, Apollo, what do they call them? The
Proctor.
The Proctors. And then Severos deleted the footage. I was like, oh, he's real loyal. You know what I mean? Not beyond just the game. Like he's loyal for life. Like
no, the moment when Darrow's like, Severo, you know we're friends. Like even outside of this arena, like you know we're friends. He's like, obviously, like starts blushing. I love you too so much.
Okay, I'm gonna rate it better. I'm gonna move it up.
I do think that me rereading it helped like solidify a lot because I first read this just by the audiobook and I gave it 4 stars, but reading along the second time I picked up on a lot more of like the nuances and being like, okay, there's more in this, there's more happening.
You know what, I don't know what I rated it the first time.
I'm changing mine right now. I rated it 3 at first. I think the beginning was kind of slow for me, and it's out of my normal range, but like talking about it, it's
of course you did, Eliza. That makes sense. Yeah, I think because I was rereading it, the beginning felt so fast because I knew what we were getting to. And so I was like, yeah, he's in the mines for like 6 chapters. And now we're in the changing. And now he's getting carved. And now we're learning about society and his world is shattering. And it felt so fast for me. And then we get to the Institute and I'm like, and now I'm going to be here for 5 hours.
Yeah, I think, again, because I had no expectations on the timing. I was like, okay, I know the wife's going to die. I know he's supposed to like create some revolution. I'm like, when does the revolution happen? And then he was being carved for months. I was like,
he was being carved for like half of the book, I feel like.
Oh my God. I was like,
this is why it took me like years to read it initially, because I got that middle part, the middle chunk. I was like, it's taking forever.
Yeah,
that's so funny. Yeah, I read through it this time and I was like, this carving's happening so quick.
Oh really? Oh my God. Even this time I was like, all right, yada yada.
I think also because I loved Mateo. He was like one of my favorite characters.
Which one's Mateo? Yeah. The carver is Mateo?
No, Mickey's the carver. Mateo is the one that teaches him like how to dance and like gets really up in arms about like, are you actually a red that was turned gold? Because you're acting a lot like a gold.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just his natural instinct had a lot of gold things going on.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, when Apollo was killed, I remember the first time I was like, damn, I love this book so much.
Yeah, the carving felt quick to me too. So it is interesting.
Oh, I wish it was quick to me.
It was interesting because it was like, obviously it's fantasy because you can't replace everybody's entire body parts, all their body parts.
Yeah.
But like more realistic because it's like it was taking so long and it was so painful and like, I don't know, it was interesting. And I thought it was interesting how Mickey treated him like a piece of art in that sense. And yeah, how to train his muscles and like all the stuff to make him like a superhuman gold.
Yeah. Cool. Like the scene where like he had to get the gold eyes put in.
Yeah.
I was like, this is a lot. Like, I know these transformations have to happen because he has to really be a gold completely. But oh boy, I was like, his eyes.
I know.
I love seeing artwork of him before and after.
Oh yeah,
it's good.
Yeah. Like the one you have on the bookmarks right now, that's him after?
Yeah. This is him as a gold.
How is his name spelled in the
Bring
book?
it closer. I want to see.
Dearrow.
Okay. Before and
Thank
after
you.
surgery.
I do wish that we could see his eyes a little bit better. Just be a little bit more gold. But I do love the fan art. I love the art of Io. Anyone who ever draws Io, I'm like, my heart.
Oh my god, I got a mix of like before and after real surgeries and then like some fan art.
Oh no.
It's also interesting with his transformation, like how much of himself that he almost loses because he's literally totally different.
Yeah, one thing I applaud this book for is how they like Pierce Brown makes every trauma that happens stick with Darrow throughout the story. So when Io dies, he thinks of her throughout the book. It's not like, and we've forgotten this woman who existed and was the martyr a year ago. Like
Yeah.
it matters to him. And so when Darrow's going through like the transformation, he's like, I'm not the Io, or I'm not the Darrow Io would love anymore. Like
Yeah.
she wouldn't even recognize me. And I'm like, oh my heart.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh
I don't
man.
think I've seen art for Io actually.
Oh, she's so pretty.
You know, I was thinking of like, you know, when people have really amazing surgical transformations and they go from like whatever to like gorgeous, and then they have kids and they're like, kids are not cute. That's what I was thinking. I was like, Darrow and Horse Girl their kids are going to be questionable. I don't know. Somebody's going to find out he's not a gold.
Everyone's gonna know.
That's
Unless
so funny.
that part also, I don't know.
Daphne, do you have predictions for Golden Sun now that you know like Darrow is gonna work with Mustang's mom or dad? Augusta is the true enemy.
Yeah, I think that was so interesting too because I was like, okay, he killed all these proctors. Like they're just gonna be cool with that, and he was kind of cool with it. He's like, okay, you're pretty BA, but I'm gonna take that to my advantage, and you're gonna be my son now. And when he like announced that he was the son, I was like, whoa. I have no idea. I have no idea because I have no idea where the story's going. I don't have a scope of like the world. You know, I'm like, are they going to spend time at his house? I don't know what the like, they're like, oh, you could get sponsors for staying at the Institute. Like, I can't even imagine what that's going to look like. I have no idea.
Yeah, it definitely is going to get more political throughout. The ending of Golden Sun is one of the most insane endings to a book ever. And so,
remember Golden Sun, Sam? I don't remember anything.
The ending.
I don't remember anything. Like all the stuff that happened in this book, I thought it was spread out throughout the series. I was like, Pax died?
Really?
I thought it was in the later books.
Oh my
God.
God.
You read more than me.
What? I read the first 3 and I still don't remember anything. Yeah, Pax was really sad.
I loved him because they were like battling at first because he's the biggest guy. And then he's just like a sweet.
Yeah, he's like a teddy bear.
I love when they like bamboozle the jackal and they all just pretend to be drunk on grape juice.
Oh, yeah.
And Pax is like stumbling around.
I would love to see this like as a visual. Like this would make a great movie or show.
The rights were bought a while ago, but
oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
I don't think it's Pierce Brown really wants it to be a show, I think, because he's kind of teased at it a couple of times and is like always trying to get talks happening, which if we get a show and that's why we haven't gotten Red God in so long, I will accept it.
Yeah, same.
But the rights were bought, so there's a chance. But we'll have to wait and see.
So for your bookmarks you have on your background, it's Darrow on the left, and then is it Horse Girl? And then who are these other people?
Horse Girl.
So yeah, Mustang and then Cassius and then Severo. Severo has the little
Cassius.
Wait, oh. Why did it make Severo so macho? It's not how I imagined him at all.
He's short.
He has that wolf thing, but that's Cassius, the yellow one?
I think so.
It looks like a woman to me.
Really?
I think it's Cassius.
Mm.
I mean, his one.
Severo, I imagine, kind of like.
Dang, I didn't know.
Bobby like.
Well, yeah. Also, Severo like lost his eye, and that's not really like shown in the picture.
That's true. That's the before.
I didn't imagine a Cassius like that.
Yeah, I imagined him more boyish, more like 14 size.
You know what? How old are they in here?
He was in that thing for so long. He's like, I think I'm probably 18.
Yeah, no, I think by the end he says he's 18. I think the start of the book, though, he was like 16, 17.
Yeah, he was like 16. He was 16. And then he was in the carving for a while. And then he was in the thing for months. Like probably over a year. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm maybe 18. And then he kissed the horse girl.
Yeah, so he might be more like 19. Not fan fiction, fan art.
Okay, I think I have to go downstairs. But I'll chat with you guys in the chat.
Okay.
I know we're looking up art.
I want to show
Show.
that.
Where's your pacifier?
This is supposed to be Cassius?
Oh my gosh.
Where?
I need to like zoom in.
Okay, why?
Yeah, can you zoom in? Please.
Hold on. I'm trying to. I hate trying to share screen so much. This one?
Throw it out.
There.
Whoa.
That's supposed to be Cassius.
Okay, I believe that. So we've
And
got
then-
Darrow, Horse Girl, Cassius.
Wait, who's the middle one?
This one?
Severo.
Oh my
Severo.
god.
I don't
'Cause
know
he
why
lost
people were
his
talking
eye.
about like Severo's like unimpressive.
I feel like for me, I imagined opposite.
Really?
Wait, it says Cassian's up there. Well, let me zoom
I
in.
can't read the words.
Who's up there
Yeah.
then?
This one's Cassius.
Who's
This
the
one's
top
Severo.
one? That one's Darrow up there? Oh my
This is
god.
Darrow.
He's so scary. Who's the guy on the right?
We haven't met him yet.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think.
And who's the chick at the bottom? We haven't met her either.
Yeah, these are
Oh my
new
God,
characters.
What about EO?
Red Rising fan art EO.
I lost this girl's pacifier.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at a lot of the discussion questions and I was like, I don't know if I put too much thought in this.
I still can't get over your dog's name is Severo. That's amazing. Now I'm not gonna forget the dog's name ever.
It does help a little bit.
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
Oh, she started this whole thing.
Yeah.
She's just such a sweet girl.
Oh,
Me freaking sad.
It is really sad.
I'm like, you didn't have to
did you do the graphic audio?
No, I did the regular one. Because the graphic audio one, it was in 2 parts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just got the one chunk for the regular.
Yeah. No, I think listening to the normal audiobook the first time is the better way to do
It
it.
was good, yeah.
Yeah, I listened to the like the preview of the graphic one, and I was like, I'm gonna listen to it faster. And the music was
How many hours is the regular one?
I think it was like 16.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. The graphic audiobook cut out a couple parts, and one of the parts that they cut out was a very quick conversation between Darrow and Mustang. And it was like a moment of them bonding, but it was a moment of them bonding over fat shaming somebody.
Oh.
And I was like, it's
That's why
interesting
they
that they took it out of the graphic audiobook. They were like, no, we don't need to talk about this.
Yeah, that's
fat girl.
weird.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like 2 throwaway lines. I think Pax was talking about a girl, like Hilka or something like that, around the fire, and was like, yeah, she's got thick thighs and she's a baddie. And they were like, ha ha,
yeah.
she shakes the earth, ha ha ha. And I was like, oh my god, you guys are fat shaming a girl you don't know.
That's so crazy.
And that's how they
Oh, I
bonded.
did not read it like that at all. I just read it like she's big. She's like a big woman. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, that's how I did. But they were like, yeah, I bet she shakes the earth. And I'm like, okay.
I was just thinking, damn, she must be really, really tall and like I was thinking she's like a Viking woman, you know, not like
Yeah.
you know. I was like, damn, this is a big woman.
It's not how I imagined Severo. I just pictured a teenager with a pelt cape thing.
Yes, same. Me too.
Like scrawny kind of.
EO, I know. EO dying at the beginning gets me every time. Like when she starts singing the song, I can't help but cry. I cried twice. I cried when EO was singing the song, and I cried when Darrow was singing the song to Mustang. I was like, I can't handle this.
So sad.
When they did the song the first time, I'm like, this is kind of awkward because I was listening to the audio. I was like, Sky's maybe not the singer that I would have chose.
Wait, they sang it in the regular audio too?
Yeah, he's singing it.
Yeah, but at the end of the book, they have a girl sing it just to like throw it
the
in.
second time was better, I thought.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah,
yeah, it was
it's
sad.
interesting how all that worked because also I'm like, how did he survived the hanging and like I don't know. They were just very clever with faking his death. And also I felt like for the Ares revolution people, they didn't give him very clear directions. We're just gonna throw you in here, like start a revolution. I'm like,
Gold and figure it out.
Like, here's how you be a gold. Now be a gold over there.
yeah, like I feel like the directions weren't super clear.
I do think it's interesting, and I remember bits and pieces of Golden Sun, so I won't spoil things, but I know that we're going to see more of the politics and stuff, but it is interesting that Darrow's uncle was involved, seeing as he kind of just sucked, but he knew so much about this like little secret revolution happening, but he was the one who administered Darrow with like some medicine that basically was like, they'll make him think he's dead, so that we can bring him back and carve into him. But
Romeo and Juliet action.
Yeah. So I do think it's interesting like how deep it all runs, and I'm interested in seeing like how they obviously expect him to like hopefully he'll survive the carving, because they've tried it on 97 other people and they've all died, and it's a very extensive thing. But obviously if Ares tried it with him and then potentially tried it with Titus or Tactius, then it's like how many more potential reds are like infiltrating the golds.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm really
that's why the Tactus guy went crazy, because directions weren't clear, and he's like, "This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to just."
Directions were not clear. He just did whatever he wanted.
Just let the rage loose.
Yeah. So how does the series work? Like, is it like batches of trilogies or like?
Yeah, pretty much. So it's Red Rising, Golden Sun, Morning Star, and that's like the first trilogy, and then there's Iron Gold, which is the
I don't know. Lightbringer is the third one.
I think I think Iron Gold is like the follow-up, and then I think Dark Age goes prequel or something. I don't remember.
I didn't know it was a prequel. I thought it was just like in the future or like.
I haven't read it. I can't remember.
Who knows?
It might be
a journey. We'll be on it together.
Yeah, it might be that Iron Gold, Dark Age, Lightbringer, and then Red God are like their own.
Yeah, I think they're their own in the future. Yeah,
but I know that they have dual POV.
What?
Yeah. Light spoilers, everybody.
I haven't even read the synopsis for the second one yet.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk about the second one.
You're making me want to read it like right now.
I know. That's my problem too. It's like I want to read it closer to the day that we're going to discuss the book, just so that
so it's fresh
in my noggin. But also
at the end, when it finally clicked, I'm like, oh, that's why it's called Golden Sun.
I thought it was so fun rereading this and being like, oh my god, they said Iron Gold. Oh my god, they said Dark Age.
Yes.
It just made me so happy, but oh yeah. I'm very excited to continue with the series, because I remember being absolutely destroyed by the end of Golden Sun, and then like Morning Star, the beginning of it. The visual of one of the scenes has stuck with me for years.
Wait a minute. Did you finish that book?
No.
Oh, okay.
I got 127 pages in.
And then you're like, I'm scarred. I need to stop.
Yeah. I haven't gotten that scene out of my head. And so I'm excited because and it's gonna be fun because it's Daphne's first time reading it all. And
me
so
too.
We get fresh eyes.
Let's just say it's
and our rereads, but we remember very little.
I remember so much less than you, Sam. It's basically a new read, okay?
Yeah, I have to figure out when I can download the next audiobook for free on my Music Unlimited blah 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 Amazon thing.
Whatever that means.
I got an Alexa, and I had to sign up for the Music Unlimited thing for her to work properly. Freaking makes you pay for everything. Like you
buy Alexa?
Yeah, you have to. If you want her to play music when you tell her to, you have to pay.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's annoying.
I have an Alexa. I don't know what we're paying for. Are you sure? Like, I thought it was connected to our Spotify.
I mean, maybe you can connect it to Spotify.
Yeah.
If you want it to be Amazon Music and be like, Alexa, play so and what immediately, you have to pay. Otherwise, she'll be like, I'll play music like that, but not actually what you want.
Oh, really? Wait, do you have Spotify?
No, I use Apple Music.
Oh, well, that's
I
why.
got it as
Yeah,
a
well,
Christmas
we pay for Spotify. Same
So that
thing. Same thing.
I signed up for the unlimited thing, and you get a free Audible book with the subscription. So that's how I got the
Ooh.
Rising one. So I might as well take advantage of that. But I don't
Agreed.
have any refreshes.
It's also on Hoopla. That's where I'm
Yeah, I
getting
just
them.
started using Hoopla for this, but
I
I
don't
didn't really
have
know how.
Hoopla at my address because that's basically a library, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't work with New York City for some reason.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah. At least I
You
can't
would think
figure
you
it
have so much.
Okay, well, I'll make my mom get an Oregon library card, and then I'll give it to you for you to
out.
use
Yeah.
Hoopla, because she doesn't need it.
Yeah. I'll be moving to the Jersey side later this year, so maybe that will be better.
That's true.
So Jersey again. We'll see. Oh, sad.
We love life changes.
Oh man, it's gonna be great, but I hate change at the same time.
Yeah, but think about like how much fun it'll be to redecorate a place and make it a home.
My husband's like, I want us to be intentional with how we decorate. I'm like, are you criticizing my decorating skills?
Yeah, I love your place.
No, he's
What's
saying
going
he
on
wants to be a
there?
minimalist and he doesn't want any furniture in the house.
Yeah.
He says, actually, I don't want you to have more books.
No, he doesn't. He's like, can you put them in your office? It's like not in the living room.
Okay, I'm gonna go downstairs. I'll message you guys on
Okay.
the YouTube. Bye.
See you later. See you in the chat.
See you.
So yeah, he's over here warming up for his run.
Oh, fun.
He's giving me the dirty eye. No, good.
Are you supposed to go on the run too?
No, I'm not gonna go because I'm finishing my hair. I've got 2 sections left because I'm going on that trip tomorrow, like early in the morning. So I have to
Which
look.
is why I'm not keeping you all night.
Yeah, and then I gotta pack, and then I also was like supposed to post my February TBR earlier this week and didn't do it. So
I have to film and edit my wrap up for tomorrow.
oh, that too. I was like, I should film my Jan wrap up so I can post it while I'm away because I have my whole calendar, and my calendar just gets like. I had to prioritize my hair, honestly. Let's be real. Priorities.
I agree. That's a priority. Needs to happen.
We'll see what happens tonight. We'll see. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself. It's so much more fun to read books together. Like even reading Fourth Wing and stuff together.
I know. It was really hard for me to not message you guys the entire time I was reading Red Rising because I was like, I want to save some thoughts for the live show.
That's true.
So if I'm only texting you guys the entire time, I'm going to forget anything I want to say.
You know, just text us anyway, and then
I know.
rehash it.
At
least we can go in more detail
this time.
Oh, nice.
And so I've got a little like system. I was like, oh, I love these moments. So I just started tabbing things. It's like,
okay, which ones did you tab? What stellar standout moments?
Well, seeing as they're all just different variants of red, it doesn't make a big difference. But I marked world building stuff because the like color system, I can't remember it to save my life. Like I know that the reds are the miners and they're trying to like work on making Mars habitable. And they're trying to get like elements. But everybody else, I'm like, are the blues the engineers or is that the greens? Like, I just can never remember.
Yeah,
So,
they probably have a picture somewhere, but yeah.
I put a little reference. They do have some.
The only ones I remember are like black is like the scary monster enforcers or something, right?
Yeah, obsidians.
Obsidians.
Red,
It's black, right?
Hierarchy.
And brown is gonna be like servants. Pinks, you can't forget pinks. Pinks is
Can't forget pinks.
You can't. I couldn't imagine being born pink. That's pretty shy.
I do appreciate that at least like if you're pink, you're not like instantly just a girl and bad things happen to you. It's like, oh, you have kind of a thing of choice if you want to pretend.
Quality among slavery.
Yeah. But there's the top, which are golds, which are the rulers of society, and then silvers, which are financiers and businessmen. Whites are the clergies and judges, coppers, administrators, lawyers, and bureaucrats. Okay. And then the mid-colors, blues are the bridge crew for starships and pilots. Okay, so they're pilots. Okay. And then greens are the programmers and technicians. Yellows are doctors and researchers. Violets are artisans and other creatives. Oranges do mechanic and engineering. That's it. And then grays are soldiers and police. And then the low colors are browns, which are servants and cooks. Obsidians, which are like soldier bodyguards. Pinks, which are pleasure slaves. and reds, who are the manual labor and miners.
I'm shocked that the obsidians are lower colors because they're scary.
They are kind of scary, but they're not like.
I guess they don't have as much.
They're kind of just the brutes. We'll meet one in Golden Sun that becomes a pretty big character, and they're kind of just seen as less than because it's like, well, you're just the meat. Like you just get in the way if a bullet comes at me type thing. And so they're just kind of like military, like forced military.
And are they born that way or are they modified to be that way?
I don't remember.
That'll be interesting to learn.
Because yeah, I know that they like anyone can kind of get modified, because people like Mickey, who's a carver, like he's basically a plastic surgeon, but like make it sci-fi, and you can do anything.
Yeah, that was so creepy.
LeBron.
Yeah, that was an interesting part of getting to learn the world building when they described the obsidians for the first time. I was like, where are we? I'm like, why does this guy have, or like when Mickey had like 6 fingers per hand, I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, no, I definitely think that like the weird modifications definitely make you feel like it's more sci-fi, because it's sci-fi dystopian and you feel the dystopian like throughout, but it's so Hunger Games for most of the book that you don't really remember that it's like a sci-fi place, and then suddenly they're like, oh, and there's also like a shield thing that you can put around your body and like flying anti-gravity boots, and you're like, wait, you're all fighting with like swords and suddenly there's technology again.
Oh yeah. For me it feels like sci-fi fantasy, like fantasy in space versus like different levels of sci-fi where it's like it's trying to be realistic and make the math work even though it's fantasy at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, every time he was like talking about how inside the arena for the Institute, like it was 0.37 gravity, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Where are we talking about low gravity?
Field. Was this not on Mars? Where were they?
Honestly, I don't know. We go to so many like planets, I think, in the future that it's hard to keep track, but I think they were on Mars.
Okay. Yeah, it was very interesting. All the loyalties and maneuverings and the style of societies. Like obviously Mars is like seen as brutal and because of their god, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. I did think it's interesting the like tie-ins to Greek mythology through it all.
Yeah.
And just like different older religions. Is Greek mythology a religion?
Yeah,
probably.
I guess so. Probably, yeah. They prayed in it.
I did think it was interesting, like the tie-in to that, where it's like we are set in space. We're on Mars. The moon was taken over, and then golds became a thing, and golds took over Earth, and now we have society as it is. But we're still gonna like go back and lean on things like Plato and different like major Earth history characters. People.
Yeah. That is interesting. They didn't lose all of their heritage.
Yeah. They're like, we're just human enough, but also in space.
Yeah. Oh man. There's so much. I'm trying to think what else that stood out to me.
Yes, the lower gravity on Mars and why they need to help kill their hanged loved ones. Yeah. That one hurts. That you have to like pull people instead.
Yeah. I think that too with the gravity because obviously I've been doing running stuff. When they asked Severos, they're like, how long does it take you to run 1K? It's like, yeah, I could do it in like 1 minute. I was like, what? It's so fast.
It's like a minute and a half. And I do love how genius these characters are for like being teenagers just thrown into a pit. Like they're so smart. Darrow sitting around the campfire and they all take their rings off to like have discussions so that nobody can see it. And then the Proctor Apollo coming down and being like, so I guess I'm going to threaten you to your face now.
Yeah.
And Severo's like, I'm going to go pee. I'll see you later. And they distract him long enough to be like, how far can he run in a minute and a half? And how far do you put the bases? And Apollo's like, no.
Yeah. No, I did love all that stuff. I'm glad you brought it up. Like all the political stuff and how he was figuring out how to work with people and just the cleverness of it all was really fun. Yeah. And I found myself laughing out loud quite often. Couldn't tell you in particular what, but I was laughing pretty hard.
Oh. Yeah. There were some like very solid moments that I really liked. But I liked the tease of politics we got. Like, we learned that Augustus is the father to the Jackal and to Mustang.
Yeah.
But they're in a feud with Cassius's family, and Cassius's brother killed their brother. And like, I like getting like snippets of probably what's to come.
Yeah.
Seeing as Darrow, who is now enemy of Cassius for killing the brother, Julian, has teamed up with their family's enemy.
Yeah. Oh, Cassian. I want it to work out. I liked him, and I was like, dude, like,
He's
what
such
did
a
you
good character.
expect him to do? You know what I mean? He had to kill your brother, kill or be killed, and to be so angry. Like, I get it, but like, what did you expect?
What do you do? Like, I'm sorry, your brother was chosen because he was weak.
And then I kind of get it when he was like, oh, you know, I called you brother, like you kept lying to me. And I was like, yeah, I can understand why you're hurt, but like, you were working really well together. You were great, you know.
That was also kind of the name of the game.
The bromance.
I know. When they found Rogue at the end alive, that moment, that was one of the moments that I tabbed. I was like, yes, please, thank you.
Wait, I definitely missed when he allegedly died, because I remember like it came up where they're like, oh yeah, he's dead. I'm like, he's dead? I'm like, when did he die? What happened?
We never saw the body. So Leah and Rogue were kind of like together.
Oh, that's
and they were going to go on like a little secret date and like have their first kiss. And Leah came back and was like, Darrow, he fell in a trap. He's lost, his legs are broken. I can't get him out. And Darrow was like, this is a trap. And
yeah. They love stuff like that, because he ran at first. He was like, oh, I gotta save my friend. Like, he trusts them. And he was like, wait a second.
That seems fishy.
Because I was like, this is a trap. And then when he goes like, when he does the same thing, I love when the characters react the same way I do. It's so satisfying.
Yeah. No.
Oh, man. Okay, so that's when he died. Yeah. Or
yeah, so that's when they thought he was dead, because they couldn't find his body anywhere. And because the trio that was trying to trap Darrow, they killed Leah. And so they were like, Rogue must be dead somewhere. But they couldn't find his body. And so when we found him at the end, I was like, reunited, and it feels so good.
Did we see him more still in the next one? Because I really like that character too.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Like, I mostly remember like the big hitters, like Cassius and Mustang in Golden Sun, and not so much like the smaller characters. Like, I don't even remember Severo. I'm sure he's in Golden Sun, but like, I don't remember.
Wait, how do you spell the poet's name? Because I was just strictly listening after a certain point.
Who?
The poet, the guy that we thought was dead. What's his name? How do you spell it?
His name's Rogue.
Rogue, like
Rogue.
Oh yeah, Rogue. Okay. I was like, are you spelled Rogue again? Okay, yeah. I really liked Rogue. I liked all his wisdom. You know,
if I'm lying to you, we'll pretend I'm not lying to you, but I think that was his.
No, I think that sounds right. Yeah, I liked all his wisdom. I like all the different perspectives, like Darrow, and when he was like, you know, I'm the leader not because I'm the strongest. That's, you know,
that's Pax. I'm not the leader because I'm the smartest. That's Mustang.
Yes, he's like, I'm the leader because I know where we're going. I was like, killing it. Yeah. United.
Yeah, no, it's such a roller coaster of a story when they're in the Institute, and once him and Mustang team up, it gets so good.
Yeah.
But it also hurts when like him and Cassius are, he's like, I've got to face him. I can't hide from him. And Cassius is just like, I'm not going to kill you now, but if I see you again on sight, like, oh no.
I wonder why Cassian gave up so easily though.
He gave up like his point of power because everyone was saying that he like felt bad for killing Darrow, and once everybody found out that's what happened, he was like, I can't lead you guys anymore. I don't want to be a part of any of this. And so I think he kind of knew that if he tried to fight the Reaper, who was destroying this entire game, like going to Olympus and destroying the Proctors, I think he was like, no, I can't do that fight.
Yeah.
Tried to kill him once, not gonna do it again.
Oh, damn. Darrow nearly died 3 times.
I know. It kind of feels like a romantasy in that way. It's like, come on, you're so strong, yet you're so helpless.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Right? Yeah. That's why I forget they're teens and this is YA. Yeah, they do feel adult at times, especially in the Institute. And I think that's kind of the point, is like, I'm going to make you guys a man by throwing you into the deep end. And it's kind of like their rite of passage, like their way of becoming of age. So it's easy to forget that they are teenagers, but I appreciate that Pierce Brown reminds us often enough. He's like, and he thinks he's 18, and we're just a bunch of teenagers, and we still have silly little crushes, and just like those like, few moments of like tenderness of like,
yeah. Because even Darrow had that realization too. He was like, oh yeah, we're just teenagers.
We're just a bunch of kids.
And how like when the game was over and everything was stripped away and everything didn't mean anything anymore, and how like stark that was, and just be like, oh gosh, like what did we just do? You know?
Yeah, like we've been hoarding food and fighting for survival for a year, and now that's just done. We're just done doing that.
Yeah,
like,
for to make them initially feel like adults, like we need to survive, to feeling like, oh, we've just been acting like silly children that have become beasts, you know, once it was over. It's such an interesting, like,
and now my parents are going to shame me because I didn't win, and now I'm a kid again. It's like, yeah. I think it's interesting, and I'm very intrigued to see in the next book, like, where the relationships go and how they deal with, like, you've killed people. You've killed a lot of people, and you've probably harmed a lot of people. I mean, it is also sci-fi, so probably the people, like, the Jack will cut his hand off. He'll probably get a hand again because, like, they have carvers. But, yeah, and so it's like, they'll probably be fine, but the people that died, it's like, those are lives lost. So now you get to grapple with that PTSD forever.
Yeah. I think the Jackal was an interesting guy, too, because he was, like, so... like Darrow had built him up in his mind as this horrifying person to be so scared of, and he's just some scrawny kid.
He's just some scrawny kid then.
It's just overprivileged. Like, daddy's gonna do this. I'm gonna eat dead bodies. Like, what? You know,
he is unhinged for sure,
and had all of the proctors helping him, and just like, I don't know. I was like, dude, stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah.
So
it is crazy. It's such a good book.
When do you want to do the next one then? I gotta fit it into my calendar.
Let me look at my schedule.
No pressure, but maybe like, I guess early March is the general sense.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the first Wednesday or Thursday of March.
Okay. Which that way I can have a time to target. Golden Sun with an O. Oh, because he's the son of Augustus. Oh, shit.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, she's figured things out.
Making the connection.
Oh, I love it.
Wow. Holy moly. Yeah. Wow. That just connected just then. Yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, I think the 5th is like a good, like we'll have a month to read it. I might do sprints in between now and then to like read it so that I'm not, reading it the day it's happening.
Yeah.
How mad would your husband be if I sent you Red Rising?
Sent it to me?
Like the books.
Oh.
So I know you're not supposed to be collecting new books right now.
He's like, what did she say?
I know that you're on like a low-key book ban.
I'm on a low-key book ban. I mean, I won't say no. Shit.
I haven't sent out your Christmas presents yet, so I'm like...
Yeah, I was like thinking, because I know the special editions are on their way, but I have like no concept of when I should expect them.
Yeah, I have no idea either. I know that Eliza also got me a set of special editions, and I'm like, what's time?
Yeah.
I'm going to forget this ever happened.
I know. And I know they usually take a while, so I was kind of like, oh, it'll probably be here eventually.
Yeah, they'll show up at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I am hoping that I have the Fairy Loot special editions, I think they're Fairy Loot, for the first 3 books of Red Rising. And I'm hoping that Red God will come out soon so they can complete the series. Because Red God is going to be the last book.
Because that's the 6th. Is that the 6th one?
7th.
7th one. Oh, gosh.
I know.
On his website to figure out how they clustered them together, but the website is not helpful.
Yeah, I know that like Red Rising, Golden Sun, Morning Star, like the first ones. And I think it goes Iron Gold, and then I think potentially it's Dark Age, Lightbringer, Red God as like the next trilogy.
Oh, okay. It's like a bridge book.
Yeah, but I could be wrong. But I think that's what it is.
And people have been waiting for this last book for how long?
Lightbringer came out 2 years ago, I think.
Mm.
But we haven't gotten news. Like, we thought Red God was going to come out last year, and then it didn't. And we haven't heard anything.
Mm. And how far did you read up to again?
I got 127 pages into the third book.
That's the third one. Oh, wow.
But Eliza finished the third book.
So we'll be reading it fresh together at some point. That'll be fun.
Yes. Yeah. After Golden Sun, it's going to be like a whole new world.
Oh, gee.
But
I'm into it.
It's going to get
I was
kind of
worried.
crazy.
I was worried. I was like, I don't know if I can read all the books.
If you tab out halfway through, that's fine. I'll understand.
No. But after talking with you about it, it's way more fun. And like seeing all the political stuff, I'm really intrigued by that. I think the beginning, I was like, because I like to visualize everything. And in fantasy, I have such a hard time in the beginning. Like, I don't know how the world works. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know where I am in time and space. So I'm always kind of like have this rough, adjustment period.
Yeah.
But now that
I'm here, but I don't know where here is.
I don't know where here is. I have no concept of anything. So, but yeah, I'm more into it now, especially because you guys are so excited. So.
Yeah. I think Golden Sun will kind of help give you a better like layout of how the world works.
Yeah, I need I hope it gives a better zoom out of like what's going on.
It's gonna get wider for sure. Because Darrow's gonna start working under Augustus basically. And so we're gonna see like a lot more of the political side.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
It'll be so fun. So I think we've chatted about everything.
Yeah.
And I don't want to keep you too late. So
yeah. I'm going to be up late, man. I'm not going to sleep much. Hopefully my flight doesn't get canceled. There's a winter storm apparently coming.
It was snowing this morning and now it's super sunny.
Oh, yeah?
It's just a wild time.
It's the what do you call it? Climate change is for real these days. It's for real.
Yeah. The world's on fire, yet it's snowing.
Like, literally. When it snows in Louisiana and Texas, you're like, I think we have a problem.
Yeah, true. Hopefully that won't happen. It's like I can handle a little bit of snow, but it's February, and that's usually when it snows here. So,
alrighty, Sam.
Thank you for joining. Sorry that you had to work.
No, I know. Whenever you do your lives, let me know, and I'll see if I am available. I'd love to join you.
We'll do. I know you're a busy gal, but Wednesdays and right now probably Thursdays are like easy YouTube days.
Okay, and God bless you with the fucking tax season. Godspeed.
I'm doing my darndest. Life is wild in work, but thank you anybody who watched, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and we will see you guys in a month for the next one. Bye!
Everybody, see you later.